Good afternoon, wood butchers. It's cold outside. Thought I'd do a little bit of work on the mobilization of the entire shop. Ran into a few snags. Number one, I'm using this Bora PM-1100. Use your own wood. Bolts into it. Works pretty good. I used a single sheet of 3/4 inch plywood for my drill press. It's a big one. So the problem is that when I had it on it, it was flippy and floppy and it bended, and man, it was not as stable as I'd like. The whole way this Bora 1100 works is you're gonna put the plywood in between there, and there's some bolts that go through here and it pulls it down. Problem is, the bolts that come with it, for the longest one, are exactly as long as my plywood. Well, give a couple threads here and there. The issue with that is that once I put this through here, there's not enough thread to go into the tapped holes here. That makes a bit of an issue. So this is two completely glued together pieces of 3/4 inch plywood, and of course my math was totally off, and well, I have a small problem in that I have to make this thinner. The only way to do that is on the thickness planer. So right now I'm going to let all the glue set in here. There's screws in it, and what that's doing is going to clamp it together. I'll let it sit overnight, and once that's one solid unit, I'll throw it through the planer and I'll make it all solid. In the meantime, here's a drill press. So I have to be able to get the cart underneath it and to be able to get it on top of the cart without too much fuss. So a little bit of physics, some scrap blocks of wood. It's up on a little platform right now. It is not the most stable thing in the world. It does have a little wiggle to it, and that was the problem with the wood foundation I had for it on the rolling cart to begin with. So I'm hoping that a smaller base, 2 pieces of plywood, well, it'll be 1 1/3. I guess I'll be taking off 2 plies of the plywood. All glued together, one monolithic structure. I'm hoping it's gonna work. If you have any better ideas, let me know, but right now, that's the best I can come up with. So I'm gonna let it all set up. We're gonna work on it tomorrow. We'll see how this does. So far, not overly happy, but I'm hoping for a better outcome as we go along. Anyways, have a good evening and I'll talk to you later. Well, as usual, I couldn't wait. So it's on blocks, and that's I put that through the thickness planer. You can see how uneven each of those plies are. It's perfectly level as far as planer goes, but there is some interesting stuff. Anyways, now to teeter-totter this back and forth with that underneath it. Let's hope I don't drop it on my head. All right, I am so excited. Now the drill press is finally on a mobile base. It's going to be a little easier to move around. So it fits really well. It's just as stable as it ever was on the regular base, like just sitting on the concrete. Yeah, it moves around a little bit, but it's really solid. The 2 2/3 of a layer of 3/4 inch plywood, holding really good. It's really solid. Doesn't seem to be any flex in the whole system. I will say that do not use an impact driver when tightening some of those bolts into the base plate. I stripped one out, oops. Otherwise it's holding great. I'm really happy. Better than I expected. There's enough room on the sides that I think I can squeeze about a 1/2 inch piece of plywood in there and make a sort of bracket so I can put, build a cabinet, put it on top so I have some storage and a little bit of holding capacity there, because otherwise what do you do on the bottom of the drill press? I don't know, it just sits there. But at least now I can clean up, move things around, get in behind, clean up my wiring for my blast gate system. I'm pretty excited. So for the first time in this bloody thing's history, it's actually semi-mobile versus teetering it back and forth and back and forth. Catch you guys later.